A very good afternoon, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. Well, David's just jumped out of the room for something, can't think what, but anyway, he'll be back. And I was just sitting here. It's a very lovely summery day here, and we're really enjoying it. 27th of November already, 21 degrees outside. Tomorrow they reckon will be a high for November for us. Only 23, but that's it's still November. It's about 5 knots from the southwest at the moment, 1022 rising, and a bit cloudy, 95%. And good evening to David, who's just arrived. And we have all systems a go tonight, by the look of it. Apologies for those that listen to streaming. We had really quite an interesting technical issue here, which took about 3 hours for a technical expert to solve. But now we are back in business. And whilst we were playing with computers, Tango arrived at Marsden this morning, 7 a.m. Clearance took an hour, and then they were off to the Four Square store. So I'm sure that there is a lot of fresh green stuff on board Tango now. Morning Star is in Opua. Not sure that they would have got to do too much shopping, but we may be able to hear them shortly. Pogean is halfway between North Minerva and New Zealand. They, at about 2 hours ago, were at 2859 south, 17747 east, and they had 14 knots of east-southeast, 1.5 metre northeast swell, 10% cloud cover, and 1019. So very pleasant conditions for sailing, except they stopped for a bit to install a new Genoa furling line. There's been all sorts of repairs done on passages this season. So they're doing well there. And Silhouette left Minerva today, and Phil reported that when he left it was 100% cloud cover with occasional rain. And like Pogean, he had east-southeast 15. We've got Kota Nui and Picasso. Well, I didn't see Picasso on the AIS, but anyway, Kota Nui are getting very close to their destination, their check-in place at Tual in Indonesia. They're at 7 degrees 47 and 13506 east. And they were doing 5.3. I'm assuming the motor was on because they didn't have much wind there, on a course of 310. So they haven't checked in yet on streaming. Probably gave up after last night. But we've got Whitehawk in Majuro. Good evening to you two up there. I wonder what you're doing to keep occupied. So I know when we were there, David disappeared to the Met office launching balloons quite frequently, but I suspect that's not on your list of things to do. And here we have Kota Nui, and they have got 211 miles to go and 5 knots at maximum. So, yep, a bit of motoring and dodging the Indonesian cruise fishing boats. So, yeah, it's all winding down here. So I'll just open the radio up and see if there's anybody out there wanting to say hello. Please call now. Well, I hear nothing, and I don't think David's got anything to offer tonight. He might just talk about what he's looking at on the screen now that it's back working.
What a battle that was, I can tell you. Yeah, well, I'm looking at Friday at about lunchtime. And, you know, virtually all the winds down to about 32 south are all out of the southeast for the most part. There are embedded bands of convective activity within this flow that's running literally from French Polynesia all the way to Australia. And we've got a high just to the west of the top of the North Island. That's the one we were talking about virtually for a week. It's still there. It's week 1022. And it's got a ridge that extends all the way past New Zealand and east. That's not going to last. Pretty much come Saturday, late Saturday, we're going to see two highs, and I'm not sure where anybody's ETAs are, but anyway, by Sunday, anyway, the high has consolidated. Highs, I guess, consolidated, and so we'll have a week, not a week, but a moderate 1024 high. The center is pretty much over the Chathams, and New Zealand is getting easterly winds in the top part of the North Island. And all of you that are still, all of you, a couple of you that are sailing to New Zealand are still going to get, for the most part, east to southeast winds and also convective activity. That is not stopping. In fact, it's probably increasing a little bit. Up where you left, up in the Tonga area, up in Fiji, it's grim. It's raining, thunderstorms, just not very nice weather, and it's a little bit of acceleration of the winds in the southern Lao and around Kundavoo and whatnot. So, yep, not very nice up there, but you've escaped that, and it's looking pretty good. So, if you get in on Saturday, Pogean might be in before that, maybe Saturday. And who's in Minerva? That left
No,
Minerva?
they've left Phil and Silhouette's gone.
Silhouette.
He's on his
Phil.
way.
Yeah, he's on his way, so figure he's got 6 days to go. So he hasn't told us what his ETA is, but if he does, we could look at the weather a little more closely. But anyway, that's what I see. Looking fairly decent. There is a pretty nasty depression that's formed over Tasmania, and this is one that's for the books, really. It's running a frontal band all the way up the eastern side of Australia. It goes all the way up to, by gosh, it goes all the way up to Gulf of Carpentaria, Cape York, all the way up. And there's thunderstorms, rain, all sorts of stuff there, and winds pretty much all the way up and down Australia. They're probably about northeast, all feeding that low down in Tasmania. And of course that low is going to head our way. So anyway, that's something that I hope it's not here when we decide to haul our boat to get the bottom scrubbed. But with our luck, who knows? So that's all I've got. Give it back to the chief.
Yeah, and I forgot to tell you this morning on the Hamnet, one of the stations is in South Australia, and he had 996 on the bar this morning. So that's in the Bight of Australia. And and well, we've just heard that Seabreeze, not from Seabreeze, from Whitehawk, they asked them what they were up to in Margero. And as you would expect, they are busily ordering boat parts. And then they plan to head west from there, but are arranging sea freight as we need a life raft, solar panels, batteries, toilets, paint, varnish. My goodness, Whitehawk is really going to look very, very different when they leave Margero. And the weather's been atrocious. Well, we know what atrocious weather is like in Margero, don't we? So, oh well, at least it's got a zip code and easy to order things. And I've asked Kotanui, really interested to know what the boats are doing once they get to Indonesia, whether they're going to spend time in all the little islands, which are evidently really nice. And they're going to spend a few days in Tual and then go on to Triton Bay, hopefully to swim with whale sharks, then up to Raja around Christmas. Oh well, we'll be interested to look those places up. I tell you what, looking up Tual is not an easy job on the computer. There's not an awful lot of information. Okay, a final call from Gulf Harbour Radio for the evening. Is there anybody out there? Oh, hello Phil, I've got you there, and it looks like you've got that nice wind that Pogea has got. Go ahead, over.
degrees and 12 minutes wind. Coast over ground 202. Speed over ground 7 knots. Wind east southeast at 18. Speed east southeast 1.5 meters. R is 1016.
Okay, and I'm just going to, hang on, increase the settings here to bring you up a bit. I missed the course. Hang on.
And an ETA.
Oh yeah, David of course wants an ETA. Oh, the gain is way down, that's why you were a bit on the low side there. Okay, we have Phil on Silhouette at 2354 south, 17912 west. I'm glad you called in because the AIS was quite a few hours old. On a course of, I got a 20, I'm looking at maybe 220, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 knots, east southeast 18, and east southeast 1.5 meter swell, 1016. Is that all correct, Phil? Over?
That's all correct. Over.
Yeah, and now you're up quite well. I didn't have the gain up high enough. Yeah, good. And and just while people are listening to Phil on Silhouette, he is going to expand his really interesting paper, I call it, on the AIS and the different reasons for my getting different results from people's AIS. So that will be very interesting when you get a time when you arrive. That's after the normal visit to the supermarket. Yeah, sounds good, Phil. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Over.
ETA.
So then I think Ted was asking my theory, optimistically, Monday, realistically, Tuesday.
Okay, Monday, hopefully, and depending on the weather, and perhaps going into Tuesday. And yes, he did nudge me again to ask that. Thank you very much. Your memory's better than mine. All right, and a really nice signal from Silhouette. Okay, is there anybody else out there?
Looking good for an arrival.
Oh, and David has just said looking good for your arrival on either of those times, so that sounds good. And I'm just looking over his shoulder. It does look a good choice of departure. Is there anybody else?
Right.
Oh, Arca, I can only just hear you. Is that Arca? Over? Well, I'll tell you what, you're not loud and clear. Whereabouts are you?
South.
Yeah, we're just having a think. Can you go ahead with your position again? Over. Okay, I have 2000 south. That one was clear enough. I'm not sure about the longitude. I heard 10844 east. Is that correct? Okay, 17844 east, and I'm not sure why I'm not picking you up better than I am. I'm just going to put the preamp on. So, what are you at sea? Are you moving at the moment? Over. Well, the course is 181 magnetic. There's not much wind and not much. David's just positioning you on the satellite picture, 20 and 17844 east. So it doesn't look to be any rain there. Not, maybe he said not much rain.
No, there's rain.
Oh, there is rain, says David. So Where are you headed? Where are you going? Are you heading to New Zealand, over? Okay, heading to Opua and then down to Whangarei. Alrighty, well of course it's nice and empty and clear and everything's happening quite quickly, seeing as all the mob have already got here. So, okay, I'm not sure. We usually copy you quite well. I'm not sure. Mind you, there's been some horrible sun activities and we're having a bit of a struggle in the mornings on air. So maybe that's the problem. And once you get a bit closer, things will improve, or the Mr. Sun might settle down. All right, well, we'll hopefully catch you tomorrow. Meanwhile, you'll probably be hoping to get a bit more wind, but of course we don't like to whistle for wind, do we? So we'll hopefully all will be a bit better tomorrow. Back to you, over. Yep, roger that.
There should be quite a bit of wind tomorrow.
And David has just said there should be quite a bit of wind tomorrow, so that will make you quite cheerful. So that will be good. Just putting down a bit more information here. Okay, all right, we'll talk again tomorrow. Clear with Aka, and is there anybody else? No, nothing else heard, so we'll talk to you again tomorrow, everybody, and have a very good evening. Not too many people left at sea at the moment, and I'll just go back to the streaming to see if there was anything else. Oh, in Majuro, it's 31 degrees this evening,
Yeah.
and they say it's cool. Right, well, and Kota Nui did a trip up to Tual in 2017. So they sort of know the area, and they're sort of taking it a bit slower and enjoying it now. Okay, have a good arrival, you guys. You'll be how many miles did you say you had to go, Kota Nui? Let me have a look back at my notes here. Only 211. Oh well, maybe you'll still be going tomorrow with that light winds. So we'll maybe hear you again tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio Clear, and if anybody wants the frequency, it's all yours.